Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And you can't ban this, U.S. government.
Well, don't challenge any. Don't threaten. They're gonna try to, I'm sure, at some point.
We are still here with you. TikTok is back up and running for now.
Even though TikTok is the least friendly social media platform in the U.S. right now. For polygamists?
I don't think that's
just
true.
For polygamist podcasts, maybe.
I don't think you've been in the Facebook comments in a while, have you?
That's true, yeah. It's a different planet over on Instagram.
Anyway, this is season 19, episode 18. Does it feel like we watched 18 episodes of this so far?
No, but it just feels like a lot of Christine's wedding over again.
Yeah, nothing really happened. It was a lot of that. I could not believe when this opened and there was the last time on Christine's wedding. I mean, I know we watched it, but I don't need to see it again.
Already forgot. I've pushed it to the back of my mind.
We're getting the good stuff because this episode is called Money is the Root of All Evil.
Aptly named title for this week, I suppose. Yeah, it's very fitting. Current events.
It's a good tie-in. I was thinking about Robin.
Oh, yeah, well, that too. I still think that you need to make money in order to have that be a temptation or, some sort of...
No, she lets other people do that.
Right, yeah, and she just kind of collects money is how that works out.
Are you going to enlighten us with some words from the great book?
Well, yeah, I mean, the verse comes from 1 Timothy 6:10.
1 Timothy Chalamet.
Different. That's a different book entirely. The Book of Wonka, 6:10. What most people don't realize is that saying money is the root of all evil, that's actually being taken out of context because the instruction was the love of money is the root of all evil. So actually we're missing a vital component there because love of money should be multiplied, not divided. I think, though, we're getting conflicting ideologies now and I'm getting confused.
Kody doesn't want to divide the money, that's for sure.
We can't divide the money. We can't divide the land. But the TLC description for this one is Christine and Janelle each reveal big new chapters in their lives. Kody meets with a realtor at Coyote Pass. Mary has a new companion in her life and considers meeting with a lawyer about the property.
Am I the only one who is extremely devastated that we didn't meet famous Amos?
Are we going to get some famous Amos? Because I don't think he stuck around long enough.
He did not appear on the show.
I don't think there could be a way. He made it on One Friday with Friends, and that was even pushing it at that point.
I'm excited for my rewrite.
Yeah, we got that Carly rewrite episode description now. I think I'm ready for it.
The ex-wives lawyer up after Kody misinterprets the meaning of a silent partner. Old habits die hard as Janelle and Christine both make big investments with little planning. Jenn proves she's deserving of her own Fidelis necklace. Jenn was the MVP of this episode.
Jenn's Fidelis belongs to Mary, though. That is where her loyalty lies.
Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Yeah, that was proven. Kody had choice words.
We'll get to it.
I know. In case you didn't think he could be any worse. He just one-ups himself every time he opens his mouth.
Anytime Kody has dating advice, that's always very rich to me.
Yeah, no thank you, sir. No thank you, daddy, in the words of Truly.
I think we'll take our own chances here. We'll go out on our own ventures and figure things out. It's just amazing to me that he knows so much about his wives, the inner workings of their mentality, their thought processes, and everything that's going into these relationships far better than they ever could.
Well, let's get this pony in the water because we have a puppy to meet right out the gate.
Oh, yes. We are in Parowan, and we are meeting Zona.
Okay, is it Parowan or Parawan?
I'm just going to keep calling it Parowan, and nobody can stop me.
Spell things the way you say them.
Well, that's not fair. Yeah, you can't do We're not able to sound everything out.
We meet Miss Zona, who is Mary's dog. I wanted more background on the first meeting, like why weren't the cameras there?
Yeah, that was important. This is like big stuff for Mary's life, so why aren't we involved in that?
This is the biggest thing that's happened to Mary in a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. I did like Jen's dig at why are we just sitting here on this porch together. It was a nice little shot at Robin's dream.
Beautiful opening, Jenn.
Well done. Well placed. Well
I'm going to
timed.
give you a little sorority snap.
Very nice. But we're hanging out on the porch, not just to talk with dogs and, well...
Talk with dogs?
Well, I mean, like there is a dog
present.
Who's present here as well.
I talk with Maisie.
Yeah. I mean...
We had a whole conversation yesterday about if I hired a dog medium or a dog psychic, if she would talk to them.
Yeah, and how you would feel more guilty because then there would be all of these unspoken things that you didn't understand.
I know she would just ask for more cookies, so...
Pretty much.
That's why we can't have the dog buttons.
Yeah, the buttons would just be cookie and play and ball and Lammy.
Bed.
Yeah, sleep.
Yeah, so Coyote Pass continues to be a shit show. There's no communication coming from Kody's end. And so Mary has now ended up in a spot that she's been trying to avoid, which is that she has gone ahead and spoken to an attorney.
Oh, I thought you said that she's going to have to talk to Janelle.
Oh, no, she skipped right over that. She was like, do I have another option? I'm just going to retain my own legal counsel and we'll figure it out from there.
I love how Kody's been using that as the barrier for Mary and Janelle. Anytime they ask him questions, he tells them to go talk to the other ex-wife.
He knows they won't do it.
Because they won't. Yeah, Mary's not going to talk to Janelle. Janelle's not going to talk to Mary. And now they don't need to bring anything as a unified front to me because they're not going to want to talk about it.
We are reminded of Mary's betrayal of Janelle earlier this season, where she turned around and told Kody and Robin that Janelle essentially said, watch your back. Don't be trusting what's going on here because I'm pretty sure they're going to try to screw us over. And in hindsight, she's thinking, maybe I should have listened to Janelle.
Maybe I shouldn't have trusted Kody completely and blindly again, because you can't get one over on Mary here. You're not going to be able to just push her around forever. I mean, 10 to 15 years? Yeah, maybe. Probably.
She's drawing the line there, though.
But not a day over 15 years. So definitely not forever.
You see, this is why we need Mary to write a book, because I need more explanation. I understand you're doing the whole worthy up thing. I get that you now claim to be this liberated entity, but I just don't see it. How did we get here?
Well, yeah, when the basis of your relationships in the family have just been long stretches of silence broken by mild confusion, why do you think it's going to improve when you leave the family? It has not improved. Things have not gotten better. So yeah, I think we need to lawyer up and start protecting our assets here.
Thank God she's got Jenn, because I'm pretty sure she would not have gotten to that point on her own.
Jenn keeps reminding Mary, it's time to stop gentle parenting Kody. It's time to take the gloves off and we got to get thorny. You know what I'm saying? A little prickly.
I kind of hated that expression.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I just feel like, just say, be a bitch.
Well, not even be a bitch.
You deserve to.
You don't even need to be a bitch. Just, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to have some autonomy here, which this feels like a Natalia Grace situation now. Where...
I'm sorry, what? Was Mary re-aged and I didn't know?
No, but Mary is doing the thing where now all she's doing is, luckily she has aligned with someone who has Mary's interests at heart, because Jenn is going to bat for Mary more than Mary has her entire life. And so now you have this person who's championing for you to come out ahead in this predicament that you found yourself in.
So that means that Jenn is Nicole DePaul.
Nicole DePaul. And then Mary is Natalia, because she's just appeasing anybody, whoever she spoke to last. She's just being agreeable with them because I don't want to make waves. I don't want to rock the boat. I got to keep sweet.
Mary is Natalia Grace, because I feel like she has two totally different personalities depending on who you speak to. And also, Kody is kind of a little bit like Michael.
He tried.
Jenn also mentions, maybe let's start trusting Janelle. Let's put the walls down and consider that perhaps we were placing our hopes and dreams in the wrong person. I'm living for Jenn's commentary on the situation. No more Mary. I don't care what Mary has to say in the ISO interviews. I want to know what Jenn is thinking. We're going to get more of Mary and Jenn because I think they're starting a podcast. They keep hashtagging things on TikTok with salty, which I'm assuming is going to be one of the words in the name of the podcast. And then they posted a TikTok where they had microphones that people buy when they're trying to start a podcast because they think they look cool and those are podcasters' microphones, but they're really the worst microphones. So they're at the beginning of their podcasting journey.
They should have called Maddie for some advice before they jumped in.
Or maybe for some spare equipment that they invested in that they're no longer using. Will it make it past 10 episodes? I guess we'll see.
Statistically speaking, it probably won't. But I mean, anything's possible. I'll be impressed if they make it past 10. Because again, you're breathing rare air at that point.
Or if they post on a regular basis. Weekly, that seems like a big commitment. She has a symposium once every 6 months and has to find friends or people on payroll to come speak.
Friends and people on payroll. There's a lot of crossover there in Mary's life as well. We're getting Kody's hot takes on this conversation too. He's been starting some conversations at Coyote Pass. He's talking, but he's not talking to Janelle and Mary. He's just telling them, oh, don't worry about this. I've got it all under control.
I'm talking to all the right people.
This doesn't concern you. I'll let you know when you need to know something. And that doesn't sit well.
That's terrifying, given Kody's track record on decision making.
Especially when the only information that you are divulging at this point is that, hey, Mary, you'll probably only end up with like 2 acres out of the whole plot, which is like just over 14. So you'll get what you get, but not making any promises.
That's the first big problem here. We've been talking about the 2 acres. Doesn't really make any sense. Can't really figure out what the rationale is for her getting such a little amount of land when she paid equally into purchasing all of the acreage.
But I think it has to do with how they're titled currently.
No,
so if they make
that's
that
what
sale.
He's telling her that when they divide the land, he was going to give her 2 acres.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense though, because if you're going off of what the titling is, right now she has a subset of a subset. She's a quarter owner on one of the 4 lots. So quarter of a quarter, that does put you around 2.
It's a lot of fractions. I can't do the math. It's not good is what I can tell you. It's a very small number.
It's little. That's less than a quarter for sure. But even the reasoning of paying into the family pot and then, oh, you don't need as many resources now, Mary, because you only had 1 child. That doesn't make any sense to have that be the reasoning for how you're dividing up Coyote Pass.
No, I'm telling you, he is so obsessed with this idea of legacy and what they're leaving behind to the kids that he is now using that as rationale for why she's getting less land. Well, you only have 1 kid that you can pass this land down to. So you just get 2 acres. We have all of these other kids that we have to divide this little bit of land among.
I think that would be the legacy route. But if we're talking a sale route, then we just need to split this 4 ways. And 4 ways is even being very gracious to Kody and Robin because technically they should be viewed as one entity. They should be splitting this as 3 ways and then everybody should get a third. But then that would mean that Robin and Kody would have to split a third in half.
Well, I guess if they all put separate money into the pot, like all 5 adults put an equal amount of money from their own budgets, because that's how they claim this money. The cauldron is very confusing. There's some money that goes into it. There's some money that doesn't go into it. They paid off. They didn't sell the houses when they had originally bought this land. This was, I guess, their TLC paycheck. So then that truly is family money that they used. But you're right, because they're taking all of the other financial situations out of the equation. So the money that went to Kody and Robin to buy Robin's house, they're not factoring that into how they divide the money from Coyote Pass. And it doesn't sound like they have the spare cash to be paying people back for the money that went into the She-Ra Chateau.
So now Mary is beginning to question, how much has she paid in to the financial funds for the entire family versus how much has gone out that she hasn't seen at all? Because even the family funds for shared pot of college funds for kids and vehicle funds for kids, Mary's never seen any of that come out. She's paid into it a bunch. It's like Social Security at this point.
And it's going to be gone pretty soon.
And it's going to run out before she can get her hands on it.
Yeah, there's no way to know. I am not accountant. There's no way to get the money separated now that it all went into the pot. That's something that Robin has made very clear to us in the past.
The pluses, the minuses, it's very difficult to navigate.
I'm not clear on how come Mary didn't have any of these things paid for or even partially paid for by the family. I know that Leon went to a school that was much more expensive than what they thought was reasonable for the number of kids that they have. But then why didn't they split the cost somehow?
Attending Westminster Abbey when Leon became a Westminstrel?
Correct. Like, why didn't they then pay, 30% of it? Whatever they had paid into what Logan went to school with and Aspen went to school with. How come that percentage or amount didn't go towards Leon's school? And then the car, Mary had to buy a car as well? There were no funds for that?
From the bitter monologue that Kody was able to give us as far as his reasoning that went into this and how he finished it with, she still got her wet bar. I think that Cody's seeing all of the other financial accounts that Mary had a bunch of money that became an issue for the family where they had to pull finances for those types of situations. And then that's why she wasn't able to draw from family funds, because she's always a drain on the family fund in these other ways.
Okay, they claim that. But the wet bar, Mary made the point that what her house cost was her mortgage. And she paid her own mortgage out of her own portion of funds. So no impact on anyone else. Then when else did they give her money? When she asked them to contribute towards buying the B&B and they didn't give her a penny?
Yeah, we remember that. She had to sell those LuLaRoe leggings to buy that Airbnb, the Airbnb, sorry.
I just don't want to hear it because the person who has clearly sucked up the most resources from this family is Robin.
Yeah, if we're talking in versus out, and we know Kody and Robin like to throttle in and throttle out.
Preferably on a motorized vehicle.
At this point, they'll take whatever they can get. But yeah.
It's really important to her that she get her bag, not just because of the fact that it's owed to her, but also because she might want to become a sugar mama at this point.
She's considering it. I mean, she has to keep her dating options open, but she needs to know which websites she's going to sign up for. Can I afford to be a sugar mama? Is that where I need to be making an account?
She should find out what site Christine and David were on.
Woolly fans, we already know that.
Apparently, you only need to be on there for 8 to 12 hours and you'll be contacted by your future husband.
Pretty much. That's how that works. It's just like the TikTok algorithm. It has filthy reads immediately.
She's looking for an older guy, older than her, which just made me think I like her business plan.
Yeah, this is sounding very much like a Bronwyn and Todd sort of relationship endeavor from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Marrying a guy with one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel.
According to Angie, yeah.
I can't get over that burn. I know people felt like it was really, really mean.
That was just the start of it.
Not even mean. They felt like it was cruel was the appropriate word.
It got worse as it went on. That was the opening line to that text, and it was brutal.
And I say, Angie, you got a job writing episode descriptions for us if you want it.
Keep going.
But she wants a guy who's a departure from Kody, someone who's a go-getter, a real partner who's here to support her in everything that her endeavors and everything that she's looking to do in the rest of her life.
6'5", blue eyes, yes.
Looking for a man in finance. This is a TikTok-heavy episode. Yeah, until we hear Kody's opinion on what Mary should be looking for. He's interpreting what she's saying as though she wants an alpha male.
I don't think he listened to any of the things that she wants. I think he's just saying that Mary wants an alpha male, but she also wants to be in charge. So I don't know how she's going to find that, because polygamy is the only place where you can have a dichotomy of contradictions.
And if she wants to attract a guy like that, she's going to have to ditch those bitches.
She's got all these friends now that filling her head with ideas and
telling her she deserves better.
You know, supporting her and encouraging her and all this stuff that's just really, detrimental for a patriarchal relationship.
No one's going to put up with that.
no self-respecting man is going to want to have a relationship with her.
I loved her dig back at him about how if anyone understands the importance of loyalty and not turning on a friend who supports you, it should be Kody Brown, the man who demands loyalty from all of those around him.
Mary doesn't even want loyalty. She just wants support.
It's true. It's actually sadder.
She's
than
ready
loyalty.
to settle at this point for pretty much anything, as long as it's not Kody.
Well, speaking of, Kody has been busy behind everyone's backs, and he's got a date with a realtor today over at Coyote Pass. We're meeting Justin, who I'm assuming doesn't stick around very long.
This is Justin Bemis, so we have Bemis and Butthead on the land today.
It's Justin Bemis?
Bemis was his last name.
I thought you were making a Justin Bieber joke for a second.
Nope, this is Bemis and Butthead touring the land.
I love it. That means we're going to be able to look up all the land that he's ever listed.
There you go, if you'd feel so inclined.
Someone else do the homework. We're tired. We're only here today because Robin has finally agreed to sell the property. And at the end of the day, all the decisions are actually Robin's decisions.
But Kody doesn't let Robin make the decisions. He makes the decisions because he's a man with a penis.
The alpha male of that household, if you will.
Alpha Mel. And so we're taking Justin around to the different various sites to see and behold on Coyote Pass, one stop at a time. This is what it would be like at Sister Wives The Experience on Coyote Pass.
The amusement park.
A quick little preview that you can get a glimpse of here. It's just various piles of Kody's junk that is just depreciating the land value.
You know, they are repurposing the area where Janelle had the RV. We'll give them that.
There's
money didn't go to waste.
A large trailer that's been used for hauling water because we did not have any of the water hooked up in the cistern. He doesn't want to say that it's too small, but we already know it's too small. 25,000 gallons. Yeah, right.
And then there are multiple trailers which are holding junk.
Businesses I've had to mothball.
Which definitely means the jewelry from my sister wives' closet is in there.
They are sitting on inventory is what they're sitting on out at Coyote Pass. That's why Robin has all this footage of her just pacing around Coyote Pass. It's her just wandering around, shuffling through different storage bins of my sister wives' closet trinkets.
She's checking in on her investments.
The odd sale that does fire off every once in a while on the website when people are able to backdoor into it and get a piece from there. She has to go fish them out of the storage units out there.
Okay, my new favorite theory is that she had to go out there to find the piece of jewelry that she sent to Jody and Amanda.
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably one of the reasons that you'd find her out there on a regular day.
He is telling Justin his entire life story. He's been through nasty divorces. He's had all these failed businesses that he's storing the crap from out on this property. And speaking of those ex-wives, I would prefer if you didn't talk to them directly.
Kody's going to go his salesman route where he's going to middleman this deal. He's going to be working directly with this realtor, and then he's going to take any of those offers that he hears from him out to the ex-wives so then they can peruse this, maybe if it's good enough and worth discussing with them. But Kody and Robin are going to decide if it's even worth bringing up to the other parties involved here, being Mary and Janelle.
Who also have no clue that the property is going to be listed.
Don't know. They've been talking about selling it, maybe, as a possibility. They have no insight into the fact that it is actually getting listed now.
Yeah, I wonder why they would start to get paranoid that perhaps he would sell it out from under them.
It's because he has these two nagging wives that he's had for so long, and now they're his ex-wives who are still nagging him.
God, they ask so many questions like, when are we going to pay off the property or we might lose it all? Or are we going to divide the property evenly so that we can build on it? Or are we going to sell it so that I can get my money back and move on?
Or buy me out so I don't have to keep calling you with all of these questions.
Maybe they would stop contacting you as frequently if you actually answered. Just a thought.
Kody's just waiting for a great deal, a perfect offer where he's going to get best of both worlds, where it's going to be such a great offer that it'll be buying out all 4 plots of land that they have listed for sale. And then it's going to be so much money as part of that deal that he would be able to keep a little portion of Coyote Pass too. He would buy Janelle and Mary's portion out for that piece of land. So then that way him and Robin could just keep it and hang on to it. But then also while he's describing this dream and fantasy, he's realizing there's a lot of heartbreak on this land too, though. So I don't know if I actually want to keep any of it. And so now Justin's like, dear God, do you have your ex-wives' phone numbers? Can I call anybody else to work on this with? Because you're all over the place, dude.
Yeah, this is the worst person to be selling property with.
I am going to go list this, and then you're going to change your mind tonight, probably.
You tell me to pull it off the market.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to update the listing.
It's a waste of my time.
It's a lot of work, dude.
Also, could you tell me some facts about the land? All he knows is that it's 14.10 acres.
Which you could just say 14.1. You don't need to say the 0.
He's got to take it out a decimal point just in case it's worth a little bit extra. Although it's a 0.
Because he paid more for that 0 on there. He added a 0.
He is claiming that he's going to divide the earnings from the property evenly. 4 ways.
When they sell it. So trust me, bro, is basically what the standing arrangement deal is for this sale.
Alarming, because legally they're not going to have a way to come back and say, I'm entitled to an equal amount of that money, because based on the actual ownership of the lots, like we said, it's a very small percentage.
But this is the wives' fault because they abandoned him. Kody is left holding the bag with all of this land that he doesn't have money to buy anyone out from because he wasn't contributing enough of his money to the family pot, I guess. And he used these other people's money to buy this land. And he isn't able to pay that back to then take them out of this deal.
No, and anyway, they would do shitty things to him too. Like if Janelle could come after him for alimony or child support or something like that, she would do it.
Thankfully, she doesn't have any legal claim on any of that.
You know what? Janelle deserves it. Again, I'm going to bring up the fact that she gave her retirement money to fund that shit show that was My Sister Wives Closet.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So, I mean, that's a lot of money. Would have been a lot of money.
Whenever Kody is acting out what he thinks the wives look like in their conniving plans, rubbing their hands together and coming up with these horrible schemes on how to screw him out of his money.
It's a real Pinky in the Brain type
well, and it's
dream
just,
that he has.
It's one of those projection moments where I see it where it's like, I think that's something that Kody does because you've got that down really well. I feel like that's a lot of moments with Kody just taking that all in and coming to his own conclusions of what he's going to do and how am I going to get the most out of this and how can I keep Robin happy?
Speaking of Robin, we got very little of her this episode, which was refreshing, except for when she butts in and talks about how the family fell apart after they moved. And she was like, stop, please, guys, stop. And they didn't.
They didn't stop destroying the family right in front of her eyes. And she said, don't stop. Hey, cut it out.
Please. No.
Hey, now stop it. But it didn't work. She didn't know what else to do. So that just means that it's their fault. It's not Robin's fault. It's their fault. Because she said, hey, cut it out. Don't do that.
Can't imagine why that didn't work. It's time to view the moneymaker of the property, the pond. This was a real selling point for the family when they first saw it.
Justin's lucky Kody didn't shake his moneymaker out here because that was what happened the last time we saw it. But thankfully, it's dried up.
Like some other things.
Kody was not able to strip down to his skivvies and go body surfing across the drainage ditch pond full of cow poop.
And he felt the need to tell Justin that he was out here, I don't know, the second or third time he ever went skinny dipping in his life. Funny story about this pond.
It was the second or third time I've gone skinny dipping. I won't tell you about the first time. Okay, maybe I will.
Your Kody is getting really disturbing.
We'll have to go to Salsa Brava after this and we could talk about it at length.
This guy wants to leave so bad.
He's ready to go. Get
He's
me
going to be
outta
like,
here.
you know what? I'm actually going on a sabbatical and I'm not going to be able to list any new properties.
Do you have Robin's email? I'll send her a note. when it's ready. Okay.
Robin's email? Are you kidding? It's going to get
the link that AOL.com.
Okay, first of all, that's definitely it. Second of all, you're never going to find that email because it's going to be stuck in hundreds of marketing emails that she gets every day from the various retailers that she shops at.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how many times that email's been used on a QVC order? They have sold that information. It is making the rounds on the internet now.
Bath and Body Works is emailing her 6 to 7 times a day.
We found your email on the dark web. Multiple leaks.
Okay, the other part of the tour that got me was when he tells Justin that people routinely drive out here just to look at this mountain.
I don't think it's just to look at the mountain. I think it's to also trespass on the property and to
see if you've built anything.
to sit at the picnic table and experience what Mary experienced that fateful day out here.
How deluded is he, though? He thinks people are just driving by because they enjoy the view. These are prospective buyers.
He's just waiting for the offers to come pouring in at this point. But it ends up like my Sister Wives Closet website launch. A lot of views, not a lot of purchases.
Yeah. No one adding anything to their carts.
Not a lot of sales.
They decide that they're going to list the property without ever talking to the other business partners. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, Janelle's making moves with or without them at this point.
If you want to talk business, we got some business going on here.
She's got Maddie subsidizing her dream, so we're good to go. And she's got some news. She's got to call Christine and Kody.
Kody didn't answer, I guess. Oh, you mean David? Did she call David Kody?
Oh, you didn't. She cackled about it.
Oh, boy.
She thought that was so funny. She's just used to saying it. She meant David. He was lurking in the background, and then he just popped in from the side of the webcam after. The webcam? What year is it?
Yeah.
They banned TikTok yesterday, so, I regressed a little bit. She has big, big news. They have purchased some land. It's not the land that she last talked to Christine about. That lot sold because it was probably a good viable piece of land.
Well, I mean, depending on what you're using it for, yeah, I guess. But the good news is, for right now, they have an offer out. It's been accepted. 165 acres in New Connecticut. What am I saying?
New Zealand? North Carolina. And they've got big plans. They're going to start growing flowers on this land once they eradicate it from all of the indigenous bats. They don't know about the bats yet.
Save the wetlands.
I was dying when they showed the B-roll of this beautiful flower farm. It's like, that's not it.
The B-roll.
That's not the real land.
That is stock footage. So much stock footage. That is not there. Yeah, they could not send the crew out to the land to film anything just from the rabies risk alone.
I'm surprised they didn't show us B-roll from like some beautiful flower farm of tulips.
Yeah, there's going to be a big windmill in the back. Yes.
It's tulip season at Coyote Pass. What are they naming this place? You got to give it a name. I don't know what piece of property we're talking about unless it has a stupid name.
Wayne Manor. It's the Batman, in case you didn't know.
God, Janelle is just looking forward to this. It's going to be such a zen-like, peaceful experience after everything that she's been through with the divorce with Kody.
You're growing the wrong flowers, bud, if you're looking for that zen, peaceful, full body sort of experience.
Yeah, why did she abandon that idea?
I don't know.
Bring back the grow-op.
That's what she needed. She was talking about greenhouses, keeping stuff indoors out on Coyote Pass, but she was going to take this out. 165 acres? You could do some damage out there. Still zero research that's been done. I liked that she was very excited as long as this doesn't fall through, but they have an offer that's been accepted. Yeah, because there were no other bids. Nobody else wants this land. Nobody can use it the way that you're trying to use it, and now you bought it. What
you got a lot of work to do.
It's going to be a whole lot of work.
We haven't seen her say that yet.
Not yet.
She's going to find out soon.
That's when they get out there and they just get swarmed by bats.
That makes Christine wonder, so what's going on with Coyote Pass? Because I thought you needed that money, and I haven't heard that it's sold yet. What's going on? I'm sure Kody's in the process of screwing you over and making your life difficult.
Corey and Carly haven't reported on it yet, so I don't think it's been publicly sold yet.
Unsurprisingly, Janelle has also retained a lawyer, and they're going to move forward with a separation of assets.
Spread those assets, okay? I know you're going to want to keep that all together, Kody, but you just got to spread them out, all right? You're going to sell it? You're going to divide it? What are you going to do?
I guess that means that she's going to force them to break up the land so that she's not partnered with them anymore.
Well, and I guess that's the weird part, is what we start figuring out here is that Kody is the majority shareholder, I guess, if you want to consider it this way, because this is like a business partnership.
It's a corporation now.
That they've entered into. The way that they have the plots of land separated out. Cody's name is on each of them. Robin's name is on 3 of them. So they have the majority. They're the ones making the decisions. And then they've just been keeping Mary and Janelle in the dark. So that's kind of the big problem here. And now what they're being told is, well, if we decide to sell it, we'll split it 4 ways. Everybody will get an even share at the end of it. And we'll get that taken care of on a good faith basis. So that's making Janelle extremely nervous because she's got 165 acres in North Carolina to pay for now. And Mary's just going to end up with $20 and a Salsa Brava gift card. So she knows the clock's ticking on this deal. And I think Cody's trying to keep everyone out of it just so they don't know how much money is being involved, what the dealings are in the actual sales process. He's just going to cut them a check with a wink and a smile and letting them know, yeah, that's how much it's worth.
He still hasn't had anyone come out and measure the land? What are we talking about?
Assess
the land. They still don't know what the actual value of it is. So when they're going to get an offer, how are they going to be able to determine if it's a fair offer?
What is your realtor going to list it at?
Excellent question.
What's the market value?
You
don't know. Nobody knows.
Best and final only.
Yeah, pretty much. Sold as is.
It's even worse for Mary because really, she only has 1.5 acres that she's entitled to. That's why he's trying to keep with the 2 acres. He's not trying to give her any more than she's really got already.
So I think that that's why he wants to move forward with it this way, because the way they have it titled out, that's how the amount of money would be distributed amongst the shareholders then, I guess, if you want to call it that or refer to it that way, the business partners.
No, they're not shareholders because they're going to get screwed over just like in a real corporation and the shareholders actually make money.
Well, yeah. So I guess the entities that are involved,
they're employees,
the business partners that are here. I think Janelle and Mary were basically trying to say, can we split this? Can we divide it evenly first before we sell it? Or then that way we're all responsible for our own.
Yeah, that's why he stopped responding to their emails.
Well, yeah, and I think it makes sense to just sell it as all 4 plots of land and then divide the money. I think that makes sense, but everybody needs to know what we're talking about. How much are we selling it for? What does that look like?
No,
and what
there's
are these
no
totals?
way I wouldn't do that. I would demand that they break the property up and that our names are separately on the different plots.
Oh, I would say, yeah, like the thing of that, if you're going to go that route, then you need to have a contract in place that says, this is how we are doing this. This is what we are entering into right now. By going into a sale, we are going to divide that money equally amongst these parties, 25% each way. So I think they would need to stipulate all of that out, but I don't think they are right now.
Oh, no. And I guess Cody's the only one who can actually change the ownership information. So their hands are tied. There's nothing that they can do.
And that's what Kody keeps throwing back onto them, is that when they're going to him and asking him for stuff, at one point he was saying, I have these ex-wives who are asking me for favors. No, dude, you have business partners who you owe money.
Oh, he doesn't like the sound of that.
No, I know, but it's like, that's the reality that you're dealing with. You don't have ex-wives who are asking you for favors here. You owe this.
And he doesn't have the money to cash them out. Well, enough about Janelle's drama, because David and Christine have big news too. They have put an offer on a property in beautiful Moab where they got married, and they're going to plan on making it into an Airbnb. And
Janelle is completely in support of this because any woman who makes money is an asset to Janelle, I guess, in some ways, some way, shape, or form. I don't know why we keep flashing to FLDS and traditional.
Oh, that was a throwback to
prairie
early
dresses
Sister
and-
Wives seasons.
I know. I don't know how we didn't get Warren Jeff's take on all of this. And if he's going to be at the Airbnb at some point, I don't know.
Don't start a rumor. This is a big step forward in their lives because they can do what they want with their money now. That's the whole point of this. This is a celebration of Christine moving on from Kody, not having to make committee decisions anymore.
She doesn't have to save her grocery money anymore to do what she wants to do or go on special vacations or 11-day honeymoons.
And it's not difficult getting David's sign-on to these crazy projects that she wants to do. All she had to say was, I want to buy a place in Moab.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
He didn't even look at it.
Oh,
Well,
no.
and I think
he looked at pictures and he was like, oh, they're good.
Well, that's
good?
the nice thing is that Christine's like, well, he's been doing drywall since like 1980. So if there's something that we don't like about it, we'll just change it.
We'll just build a wall.
Whatever.
Or take a wall down or something.
You know, just kind of slap some stuff up and fix it.
I mean, there are lots of other things that could be wrong with the house aside from the drywall.
Structurally, foundationally, electric, plumbing. We're talking about a lot of different elements, a lot of different components here.
My guess would be in an Airbnb, the thing that gets damaged the most and needs to be repaired on a regular basis is the drywall.
So then she married the perfect guy.
Yeah. This business was meant for them.
All her dreams are coming true. And now they're moving on. It's great.
It would give me such bad anxiety if you didn't immediately question big plans that I had, just because I don't always trust my own direction.
Okay.
Yeah, just that I don't know. It's not apathy. It's just he's too go with the flow for me.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there's a difference between like being supportive and being complacent. And I feel like David's towing that line where he's just kind of going along with, yeah, whatever.
I was surprised to hear Janelle use the word cult. She didn't refer to what they came from as a cult necessarily. She said Orthodox
FLDS.
FLDS. Like, girl, you still haven't figured out your mom married Kody's dad. You still didn't realize you're in a cult.
You're pretty close. She's getting warmer, but still just, not there yet.
We have to watch David and Christine pack up the moving truck because there's no move in this family that can go undocumented.
Okay, yeah. And this is just
an unnecessary move.
I don't know if they just have a standing U-Haul rental, an annual rental, that they have a truck and they're going to do something with it.
Unlimited miles.
Just, they have a membership and they have to use it or lose it as part of the show, because I don't understand why Christine and David were acquiring all of these things for a rental in Moab that they then needed to move from Salt Lake to Moab.
It does seem like it would be more efficient to just buy the furniture closer to Moab.
Just go to Moab or ship it to your place in Moab or something. There's got to be a better way to do this, is what I'm getting at. Instead of shipping everything to where you live full time and then driving it to your rental.
Also, how crazy is it to furnish an Airbnb with completely new furniture?
New stuff? Yeah, this was wild to me.
I just think that's nuts. You deserve cleanliness in an Airbnb, but you can get secondhand furniture and you can make sure that it's clean.
Look, if Mary's charging her rates for the Airbnb,
they could have used Mary's couches.
Oh, the Titanic couches. I think they're going to have to call Nathan for those.
Yeah, they did make the rest of it an ode to Sister Wives. Remember, they have all the magazine stuff on the walls? You needed the couch.
Yeah, if you had the Titanic couch, your bookings would skyrocket. Let me tell you. But it was nice to see at least Christine had her trusty moving denims and gloves.
She learned a thing or two from Kody.
You know, as far as she's moved ahead here in this past year, this whirlwind of a year with her relationship with David, where she met him, they went on a date, they instantly moved in together, they instantly got engaged, and then got married in the span of 8 months. A lot's changed, a lot's happened, but there's still some lingering Codyisms here, and we can see them right there. Full display.
This somehow becomes a lot about Kody because then Peyton pops up out of nowhere and starts talking about how, it's kind of, mom's changed a lot in this past year. And also, David's different from dad because dad makes a plan and he likes to stick to it.
Does Peyton know who Kody is on the show? Does he know that we watched the show and that we just spent 19 seasons watching this man
I don't think he's rewatched.
devolve into chaos and just embrace that in its entirety? The man who was wedging a chainsaw out of a tree trunk last week?
Unfortunate that this came after that episode.
I think very fitting.
He did stick to the plan.
The plan was,
Even
how
when
do
it
I
got-
do this in the most dangerous way possible?
Even when it got increasingly dangerous, he followed through with what he originally planned to
And
do.
the camera guys just kept taking steps back, further back, zoom in more, further back, zoom in more, which that's the only way you can approach that.
We also got the crazy bike footage again.
Da-na-da-na-da-na. Very much so. Yeah, a lot of that. But that was Peyton's comparison of Kody to David. Kody is more chaotic, but man with a plan. So I don't get his assessment of that. David is more go with the flow. He needs like a honey-do list, and he's there to check stuff off the list, and he'll say yes to anything to Christine. And that seems to be working better based on Peyton's assessment.
Kody does not seem to like that because we're getting all his opinions about, at least in plural, marriage. It's not going to work if the man doesn't take charge. He had a real alpha male obsession in his ISOs this episode.
Most beta males do.
Again, Kody, don't really feel like he took much charge from this family, except for towards the end when he destroyed the whole thing and it imploded. I still stick to that he deferred to the wives a lot to make decisions.
Yeah, so then that way it wouldn't be on him when it didn't go well, and then he was able to just assign blame to whichever wife was less appealing to him at that point in time.
That did work for a while.
I mean, for a little bit.
Until
yeah.
he changed strategies.
Yeah. Then once you have one wife who never is at the butt of that, then you're in big trouble. What did you think of Christine and David's Oval Office? Do you think they've had a happy birthday,
Oh, no.
Mr. President sort of moment in there yet?
I think there's a dress in the bottom of the closet somewhere.
Like Bill Clinton Oval Office? Or what kind of Oval Office are we having here?
The gun safe is still there. A different
Why?
one.
Yeah, why? At least it was bigger this time too, so maybe that was to make Kody feel uncomfortable. But I don't know why there always has to be one in Christine's room. It's always right behind her.
I mean, at least it's not in front of a crib this
At the
time.
foot of the bed, blocking a crib.
At the foot of the bed, like Natalia Grace. I don't know. Then Kody rambled at the end of this episode about like how Janelle has her own business, which I think is Strive with Janelle, but she wouldn't say the name of the business.
Or any
or
of
it
her.
was Plexus.
Yeah, probably Plexus.
Well, that was like really towards the end of the relationship. It's not like she's been doing Plexus. I mean, it's been years now, but she left Kody a number of years ago at this point. What he was trying to say was that they used family money to help Janelle start this business, and she kept all the profits for herself.
Yeah, and now she has this successful business that she's running, and she just gets to continue to receive all of that income in perpetuity, and he doesn't even get a cut of it anymore. That's really the injustice.
Next episode, Janelle and Mary join forces to finally get answers about Coyote Pass, but Kody is having doubts about letting it go. Christine takes another step towards independence and buys a vacation rental in Moab. I'm sorry, didn't she already do that?
Well,
Because
she
she's
bought it.
moving into it.
She's showing it to David. Well, nobody's moving in, but they're going to go decorate. She's going to show it to David for the first time, even though I'm sure David's probably at least seen some photos of it and stuff. Christine did have a hand-sketched drawing, a layout, a schematic to share with David in their office this episode, so he has a general idea.
Maybe let him fix the drywall before you move the furniture in.
Maybe move the furniture in, and then he can fix the drywall.
Why? Drywall is messy.
Did you see when Christine was helping Janelle move out of her rental and she bashed that stationary bike and punched a hole in the drywall?
Maybe, oh my God, subtle foreshadowing.
We knew.
That's the moment we knew about David.
We knew that she was going to need to find a man who knows his drywall.
Well, before we go, just a quick announcement that we are going to be having a live stream over on our Patreon on Wednesday, the 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's part of our 5-year podiversary celebration this month. So normally the live stream is a very special circumstance that is only reserved for the legal wife tier. But now we've opened that up this month to all tiers on the Patreon.
And I'm going to give you guys a little tip. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial over on the Patreon. So if you want to join the live stream and maybe you want to listen to, I don't know, one of 19 seasons of Sister Wives and our recaps, you can go on to patreon.com/survivingpod and do that.
And if you like what you're hearing here, make sure you go check out our other podcast, Surviving Reality, where we're recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we just started in on season 3 of The Traitors on Peacock.
Also, follow us on YouTube and Blue Sky. There are links in the Beacons link in the show notes because I guess we just never know when a social media platform may disappear.
I guess we'll just have to sign up for all of them. I'll fire up a Finsta and my MySpace.
No, we won't. We will not be doing either of those things. Thanks for listening. See you next time.